This is American Forks.
Don't you guys say welcome?
No, I don't.
An engineer won
An engineer won what?
the race.
What race?
The Pinewood Derby race.
Jake's just carrying on a conversation from previous.
Jake
to
just
us
walked
starting
in like a
recording.
half hour ago from an Elder's Corn Pinewood Derby. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
my god!
and then he just interrupted my intro.
I'm the
with
activities coordinator.
Oh, you
It
made
was-
it? You
yeah.
made the activity? I should recommend that for mine. They're always trying to like do things.
Hey Phil,
I know a guy. We rented a guy that hosts CMCs the whole thing, and he has like software that will automatically detect who gets what and rotates the
wins?
lanes.
yeah,
and,
this is really interesting.
Oh,
Phil,
really?
can we do a podcast now? Thanks.
We are. Or can't you hear me and Jake talking about Pinewood Derbies?
That's not what we do here.
Tell me
Isn't
more
it
about this software.
Tell me about the AI.
You hear that? We've got the Holy Spirit with us after all these years,
Or at least months.
right?
Yep, I'll be here more often.
Yeah, that's right.
I do need the Holy Spirit in my life.
Yeah, we're glad you're here.
We all do.
Exactly. This is American Fork, the one podcast where you can get only facts and no opinions, and everything we say is 100% real and correct.
My
Right?
cat's breath smells like cat food.
Exactly. This episode is called The Great American Debate.
Oh, I thought it was the Master
Nope,
American
there was
Debater.
nothing about that.
Oh,
So, and we'll get to that more. But our first story, I didn't find anything on American Fork. So the nearest bigger sister is Provo, I guess. And yikes, Provo is the name of this story.
Yikes!
I guess I should turn my internet on.
gee willikers.
You guys ever heard of the Pink Box?
I have. It's
Donut place in St.
Donut
George?
place is amazing.
It's opening a location in American Fork.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
Really good donuts. The kind of donuts where you're like, wow, they put that on a donut?
Oh, like caviar or like
No. like
seaweed?
bacon.
Bacon?
everything.
Oh, but not caviar or seaweed.
No.
Just-
no.
Just bacon.
Just everything else.
All
You
of it,
listed
yeah.
you listed the two things they don't put on there. What's it called?
The Pink Box.
And it's coming to
American Fork.
American Fork?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a nationwide thing?
I know they have one location in St. George,
Uh-huh.
and it's like the place to go if you like donuts when
Uh-huh.
you're down there. So now you don't have to go down there to get the donuts there.
I mean, it's a little, I don't know what to think because the name of the company is hypersexual.
It is so hypersexual.
So,
The pink box?
okay, Phil.
Everything is
Phil needs like
Every-
every sexual term ever.
everything
explained
is
to him.
sexual with you. Someone will be like, "There's a stick over there," and you'll be like, "Like Beavis and Butthead." Whoa, that's not the story I thought it was. Anyway, this story was pretty wild. This mother, I guess, was was it mother? Was that right?
It was
You said mother and daughter.
Was sex trafficking her daughter, like selling her, like renting her out.
Pimping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some guy in Las Vegas, I guess, was like,
from Nevada.
yeah, you've heard about this story?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Anyway, so now I don't have any of the details in front of me, but it was pretty horrible.
That sounds terrible.
So this
Was it out to one person? It
Huh?
was like whoring her out to one person.
That, to my understanding,
Yes.
that's what was going on. Yeah, it was like paying, like one guy was paying her, and yeah, you decide the rest, I guess. So it was pretty terrible. 44 felonies against her, and she was from Provo. So that's a big loss for Provo, I guess, and a win for West Valley because
And
the
American
story
Fork.
wasn't
Oh.
in West Valley.
So you're saying we're at constant battle?
And a win for
Yeah.
American Fork.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a win for American Fork because it wasn't there either.
Yeah.
A Provo mother has been arrested for allegedly sexually abusing and trafficking her 10-year-old daughter.
What the 10?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
she needs
terrible.
the death sentence. Not the 10-year-old, but the other lady. Ugh.
Pretty gnarly.
I
I'd be
hate
fine
people
with
like
that. I'd
that.
support that.
Death sentence?
Yeah.
From my understanding, it happened for months, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And she would just let things happen and get paid for it
Yeah.
or reimbursed somehow. And that's said in the story as well. It's a pretty sad story, especially for the young lady. But the mom, you can't do those sort of things to your child. Like, you can't. It's really messed up. And it was one gentleman from Nevada. He would basically come in.
It was not a
And-
gentleman. It was a
Douchebag.
guy.
Yeah, douchebag.
One douchebag from
well,
Nevada?
well said. But it was a bad situation and bad for, the community and everything, and more bad for the child. And we wish the best for that child, and hopefully they can, continue to survive.
And I'm over here like having a moral dilemma over if I let my daughter get a backless dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like beating me up.
Yeah.
And then there's people out there that are like, oh, I'm going to be a pimp for my daughter.
Right? It's
Yeah.
absolutely
So
disgusting.
it makes you feel like you're a better parent.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I realized just now.
At least not doing horribly.
And I'm
Yeah.
at least not doing extremely terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on happier news,
Murder.
this story is called "The Oldest Man in the Room is Still in Charge." Russel M. Nelson, the
Oh,
prophet and president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints,
I thought you were going to talk about Biden.
turned 100 years old yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah.
Wow.
100.
Wow.
I don't know. He might be the oldest leader of like a major
World
thing.
organization.
Yeah, in the world. I don't know.
And
But
he's
it's
with
pretty
it
old.
still. He still has it. Like, he's coherent and smart.
If you guys don't know anything about him, or you might remember, I don't know if did you guys go to mission prep at UVU way
I
back
did,
in
yeah.
the day?
Actually. Mhm.
With Scott Anderson.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah, a
did.
little bit.
He-
That was great.
He actually talked about Nelson a bunch way back then because he was one of the pioneers of open heart surgery. Like, he's one of the first people to actually touch a human heart and then that person actually live after. So that was pretty cool.
Didn't he partner in inventing the pacemaker? Something like that?
I think so. I think he was like on the team that worked on doing all that
The first pacemaker.
and like open heart surgery, things like that. So yeah, quite a life. And
I'm just going to scroll through some of this, like things that were invented in the last 100 years.
oh yeah,
Post-it notes.
yeah,
There's a lot of things that are on this list that I'm like, yeah, no, Sherlock. Like cell phones. Like, yeah, no kidding. The bagless vacuum cleaner. Okay, that wasn't that long ago, right? Remember when all vacuums had bags? You guys remember that?
That was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. This is the dumbest list ever. Sliced bread. Apparently, sliced bread was invented in 1928.
Well, here I think is the list you want.
Probably.
Maybe I was looking at a list earlier, and it was talking about what things happened in 1924. Was the
yeah.
year of the first Winter Olympics that he was
Wow.
born.
Mm-hmm.
The United Kingdom recognized the Soviet Union as a country. It's like, wow, like these things are super old. That was like what, 4 years before the Depression started?
Wow.
Adolf Hitler was sentenced to 5 years in prison in Germany for his participation in the 1923 Beer Hall Putsch.
Which we all know about.
And
Percy Shaw developed the reflective lights on the road surface, like reflective paint
Oh,
for
really?
roads. Yeah,
Oh.
1933.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. That's a
Yeah, it
long
was.
time to be alive. If you live to be 100, you've probably see like a lot of your kids die by that point.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you, well,
That-
maybe not a lot, or they're coming up on it. If you had kids right away, Like they're pushing 80 or more.
Potentially.
So, like if you live to 110, you'll see all your kids die.
Yeah, you'd think. I saw some post on Facebook a couple of days ago with a family that was 6 generations. Imagine 6 generations in one photo, and it was crazy. It was pretty cool. But to go back to Nelson, what a wonderful gentleman. I've only heard good things from everything I've seen, and I hope he got his presidential birthday card.
Oh, there you go.
Did you send him one?
No.
Oh.
Biden should have.
Oh,
true.
yeah. Biden didn't even give him a phone call
Probably not.
or wish him happy birthday.
He
And
could've.
we'll get to that in a minute, Biden, because that's pretty funny.
Okay.
Anyway, the same day that Russell M. Nelson turned 100 years old, James Earl Jones died.
Who is the Cheshire Cat?
James Earl Jones was Darth Vader.
Everything the light touches.
You may have
is
heard
our
of
kingdom.
Mufasa.
Oh, so is he Anakin Skywalker?
Nope.
Wait so you're telling me Anakin Skywalker is not Darth Vader?
You know, Jeff. You know who he is 100%. He's like tattooed on your back.
Okay, you got that right.
Mark Hamill tweeted R.I.P. Dad with a broken heart emoji.
Oh, I get it.
Get it?
Yeah, I get it. I was going to say, didn't he try and kill him?
I am your father.
R.I.P. Dad. Do you think Mark Hamill would have thought that was cool?
What he tweeted?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Did you hear what Chewbacca said?
No.
What is?
Oh.
That's the worst. What are we even freaking doing tonight?
You may not know that James Earl Jones was an EGOT winner. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
Emmy,
Oh, yeah.
Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
He won
Tony.
lots of
You won
awards.
a Tony, huh?
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. So you got to win one of each of those. It's actually a pretty short list. There's only about 20
There aren't
people
very many, yeah.
that have done that, including people like Barbara Streisand, Liza Minnelli, Harry Belafonte, Quincy Jones, and Frank Marshall, who you will recognize as a director who directed some of the Star Wars. Is that right? Yeah.
Lots of people don't know this about James Earl Jones. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
They don't
Quit
know
acting like you don't know.
He also won a Teen Choice from Nickelodeon award.
Did he?
Yeah. They did not slime him.
Best new voice in the adult
Coolest
category.
voice. Probably coolest voice. is
Coolest
something.
voice.
I
this
made
side
all
of the
that up. I have
Mississippi.
no idea, but it's he was a cool guy, I guess. He lived to be how old? 93.
93. Yeah.
He did all right. He did good.
Oh yeah, I'd say he'd had
Heck yeah.
quite a career.
He was an America's sweetheart for sure.
Yeah.
Everyone loved him.
I mean, he really. I haven't seen him in a ton of live action things. He was good in the Field of Dreams. His best role was in The Sandlot. He's just like
For sure.
the coolest guy. They're like so scared. They throw this ball into this yard, and he's like, "Hey!" And they're like, "Oh my gosh!" He's like, "Why don't you come in here and talk baseball with me?" You know what I mean? Just like so cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Which a lot of that was filmed in Utah. Did you know that?
yeah,
can-
some of it was, as we've mentioned, filmed in American Fork.
That's right. And you can still go to the baseball field. It has been recreated by Firehouse Subs and Firehouse Floral Design in Salt Lake.
Oh, really?
I think
the original location.
They call it the Sandlot, don't they?
So they took the set that was literally slated to be destroyed of the baseball field, and they
murdered
took it
the
and they
person
put
that
it in the
was-
back of their restaurant.
They murdered the person. The what?
that was going to destroy it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I gotta go check that out.
And
Yeah.
the cast actually goes once a year and does a reunion there.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe the swimming pool scene was at the old swimming pool in American Fork.
No, Provo.
Oh, really? I heard it was that old.
No, it was the old Provo one.
Oh,
Agree to disagree.
Well,
I don't know where
the
it was.
carnival scene was definitely an American fork.
That is definitely an American fork.
Yep.
Yes.
And the church scene.
They go to church?
There's a church scene. Yes.
Oh, I don't remember that. In the Sandlot?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's very short, but it's an old church that's across the street from. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think the pond that they swam in was the one by Fox Hollow Golf Course.
Oh, really?
I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Timpanogos in the background.
It's funny because the Sandlot was like our life. Like
basically.
not necessarily that we played baseball all the time, but we grew up in those neighborhoods. Like that it was like the most American Fork was like the most American Sandlotty place to grow up.
It was American AF.
Yeah.
If you watch that movie, that's what we grew up with.
Yeah. That's how we grew up. Anyway.
There was always a Saint Bernard that we were afraid of, whether it was an actual Saint Bernard or not.
It was Duke.
Not necessarily.
And he was a Doberman.
Who had Duke? Where was that from?
Where was Duke?
It was on the neighborhood right by T-Hawk's house.
There was a Doberman down there?
Yeah.
Really?
The doctor's house. I don't want to say his name, but
Oh.
the doctor's house was right there.
What's their names?
I know their name. I'm not going to say it right now.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
the doctor at
He's
Buckingham Palace?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, I actually did find. I want to give a shout out to Tyler because he found the breakdancing video that I was ranting about.
The full length?
Yeah, and
Australian breakdancer.
and he texted it to me.
Ooh.
I don't know if it'll even work anymore, but I should try.
So are
but
we gonna
anyway,
watch it?
if you don't know what we're talking about, a couple weeks ago, I was ranting because they like canceled all breakdancing just because one liberal Australian breakdancing professor did horribly at the Olympics, went really viral, and then ABC, NBC, whoever just like took all breakdancing off of everything. Now you can actually Google or YouTube breakdancing events at the Olympics and find them again. They've like put them up somehow. So they've probably reversed course because of how prolific this podcast is.
I was going to say they
And
listened to the show and
yeah.
they're like, we got to put that back on the internet.
How many people heard it and
Phil.
like and told them like, hey, you guys shouldn't censor breakdancing.
Yeah.
American Fork Podcast told me that you guys censored breakdancing in the Olympics.
There are dozens of us.
Anyway, what's Tyler's name? It's in here somewhere.
T-Y.
I found it.
L. Okay. got
Okay.
it. Good.
Anyway, Tyler sent that to me. I think it's like the real one up here. It's technically not the real one because it's like some fake person in a swimming pool.
Oh,
Down below.
she's recreating it, yeah.
Yeah, but
underwater.
like up top, I think you can see like most of the stuff going on. And most of it is pretty goofy, but there are a couple times where she does some, I forget what they're called, like pauses or whatever.
Neat stuff.
Neat stuff. Haven't you ever watched any of the breakdancing for the Olympics?
I didn't watch any of it, no.
Oh.
But we've
Breakdancing Olympics.
Phil, this is called Phil didn't prepare for an episode.
I did.
Apparently.
I have a lot of stuff.
And so he's just going to rehash previous
He's just
episodes.
going to Google
Hey, you
stuff.
remember back when last time I hosted? We're going to talk about those stories.
Look, let me play one for you. This is the women's final.
We've been waiting for you to play one for
Here
us.
it goes.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to show you because I wanted to prove that there was some fairly impressive, like this is the women. This is a woman. Not that women couldn't break dance, but
Is that what you're saying?
it's actually pretty impressive. Like the stuff that they were doing. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
Like that person can break dance.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Watch the pauses that they do. Like
How do they possibly do it
imagine
without a
the
penis?
ab strength.
Look at all these moves they can do.
I thought
Yeah.
you needed that to break down.
The whole thing has to be edited.
This is real. This is
yeah, we know.
like look at that.
Yeah.
This girl, she's from Lithuania. She won, I think. We were watching.
Oh, the
her.
Australian breakdancer didn't win?
No, she didn't. She was like
I heard she was
Terrible.
juicing.
anyway.
She's like taking She's down in some testosterone.
Anyway, you should Google Olympic breakdancing. It's impressive. I thought it was just as impressive as like gymnastics. Like, look at that stuff. Imagine the strength it takes to do those kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah, Phil.
And not penises.
No.
Yeah.
What do they need penises for?
Well, that's what we all thought until you showed us that video.
They showed us wrong.
They're actually really impressive. Anyway, I was bringing it up because in case you just listened to my rant a couple weeks ago and were like, okay, there's no breakdancing, I might as well not even bother looking on the internet.
Yeah.
Tyler found
Now you can
some of it.
find it on the internet.
Exactly.
Wow. And if it's on the internet, it must be true. They didn't fabricate that at all.
On world news, this is called the Brazil-Elon Musk feud goes nuclear.
The bra?
Brazil-Elon. Get it?
Nope.
Brazil.
I get it.
Brazil,
Elon.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Okay. It's hilarious.
Brazil is cracking down on far-right misinformation about the ousted far-right president. So essentially, people were this president lost. It was kind of like they had a Donald Trump who lost, and then a bunch of people were complaining on Twitter that, like, calling foul play, like, oh, it's because the election was stolen or whatever.
Yeah.
In response, there were some lawsuits, and I guess a judge told Twitter to take down all those posts and accounts, like pretty much saying anybody saying anything bad about the election, take it down right now. Or every day you don't take it down, we're going to fine the leader of Twitter in Brazil personally, like $1,000 a minute or something like that. Like take it out of his personal bank account. Something
They don't
like
use dollars, Phil.
yes, they do. Everyone uses dollars. Let's be honest. Anyway.
So wait, so they're saying that they're going to take money from Elon personally if he doesn't take down.
No, Elon's employee in Brazil.
Okay.
And the details on what I just said are sketchy at best. But it was something to the effect that, like, we're going to punish the lead, like, employee in Brazil for, like, every day it's not taken down. So what Twitter did, or X did immediately, was like fire everybody in Brazil, because they're like, whoa, we don't want, like, our employees, like, losing their lives.
And then hired them back in the United States.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Anyway, they blocked access. So they fired all those people, but didn't take down the posts, because Elon's like, free speech, blah, blah, blah. So the judge then levied a bunch of, like, millions of dollars of fines against X, blocked access to the site across the entire country of Brazil, announced plans to fine Brazilians who attempted to access the app through VPNs, which, if you don't know what that is, some people like Mike use them to, like, hide what they're doing on the internet. Like, if you don't want
a virtually private network.
Yeah. I think they're not real things. I think VPNs were created, like, by the CIA, and they're like, why don't we just, like, make these products that make criminals think they're safe, and then they'll,
so that when they use them, we actually know where they're at.
Exactly. I think they're all government things. So
watch
VPNs,
out, Mike.
You heard it here first on American Fork. VPNs are not real. They were made by the government.
Dave Shapiro's full of crap.
Yeah. Anyway,
ExpressVPN.
Ben Shapiro, is that who?
Yeah, it's like one of his big sponsors.
Oh yeah.
People always make fun of him. They're like, "Here's my impression of Ben Shapiro." ExpressVPN.com.
Are you worried about what people say on the internet? Well, get ExpressVPN. It's the number one thing. Everyone tells you.
It's
pretty
pretty good. It's pretty good.
I've listened to him a time or two.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that was pretty wild. I thought that they blocked Twitter in Brazil, and they're going to fine any citizen who tries to access it.
Seems like someone's trying to hide something. That's my initial response.
Yeah, I think what it really is kind of like what our government tried to do, if you'll remember, with Twitter, where the most famous example is the Hunter Biden laptop thing, where we now know that the government was actually reaching out to Facebook and Twitter and saying, take this story down.
Yeah.
But then it turned out to be a real story.
Suppress anything about this story.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of what they were doing, is saying, hey, take this stuff down. Now, maybe there was some good intention to it. Maybe these people really were making like ridiculous claims on Twitter or whatever.
You got to turn off.
Maybe.
Thanks,
But maybe like Elon says, people should just be able to communicate whatever they want.
Yeah, that's what I always
Right
say.
or wrong.
That is the absolute last thing Elon wants to do is cut off Twitter. He said, anywhere, because the government tells him to.
Yeah.
He actually, I think he just asked all of his followers, should I allow free access to our Starlink satellites to Brazil? And a lot of people said that he should. I don't know if he probably didn't do it, but
I'm
he was considering allowing people in Brazil to utilize their satellites.
I'm going to answer that question. I think maybe as part of this judgment against X, they froze all the assets of Starlink in Brazil. So assuming they had any offices or installation people or whatever, they froze all those assets. Elon Musk released a statement saying, regardless of the illegal treatment of Starlink in freezing of our assets, we are complying with the order to block access to X in Brazil. So Elon Musk blocked access to X even on Starlink, which was probably a good thing to do. I mean, Elon Musk could just take Starlink down and be like, F you, Brazil. But they were saying that, like, there's a huge amount of people in Brazil that rely on Starlink, like in the Amazon and stuff like that. Because obviously there's no internet out there. So they actually have quite a few customers. I don't know. Seems pretty wild.
Google Fiber hasn't made it to that neighborhood yet.
Yeah.
Do you guys have Google Fiber?
Utopia's not there, or CenturyLink isn't there yet?
The Holy Spirit said he just got Google Fiber.
Yeah. I just got it a day ago, and I can vouch. It's freaking awesome.
Awesome.
It's so awesome, huh?
Do you have it now?
I've had it before.
Oh.
In our old office.
You've never been in Provo.
In our old office.
Oh.
I've never been in Provo. You're right, Phil. Yeah, thanks. I've been to your house a lot,
but apparently they have it in Draper now.
Well, yeah, they have it a lot of places.
Oh.
They have it on the east side of Salt Lake. I think they have it in Sandy in certain areas.
I'm so glad.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
But no, at my house we have Utopia Fiber, so it's a fiber, but
it's terrible.
Google is the best.
By far.
Google Fiber. Oh, is no comparison.
I've had Utopia before, and it's like, you pay two different companies, first of all, for your stupid internet, and then it's better than like Comcast, which we can agree is the worst of anything.
I came from Xfinity, yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
The worst. Well, Comcast and what's the other one? CenturyLink.
CenturyLink.
They're both horrible.
I actually called in one time because we had an outage, and they said, one of the technicians sneezed, so it's going to be out for a few days. I'm like, what?
Well, he has to go wipe it off his shirt.
Can you get him some Kleenex or something? Because this needs to get turned back on.
Yeah.
And then they turned it back on. They're like, we couldn't get all the boogers out, so it's a little slow for like the next 7 months. But if you threaten to quit, then we'll speed your internet up. Yeah. That actually happened.
So this whole story is totally true.
Oh, threatened to quit the service?
Yeah, so I went into them. I'm like, hey, I need to terminate my services. They're like, well, we do have this new thing, and we'd like to sign you up for it. I'm like, okay, go for it, because I wasn't actually going to like quit right then.
Yeah.
And they're like, and I'm not joking, the internet was so much better.
Yeah.
What?
And I didn't pay anything extra. It's almost like they just went, oh, Jeff's complaining, turn him back up to 7 or something like that, you know? It turned me up to 7, and I was like, oh, this is way better. A month or two later, is back down to 4.
What? It sounds like
arbitrary 4 and 7.
Not actual.
It sounds like the Boeing thing you were talking about last podcast, where they were like, where Obama ordered like $5 billion jets, and Trump was like, no. And they're like, okay, $3 billion.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's like all I had to do was ask.
Say no.
I wish that were the case with my dentist.
Yeah.
Because I just went in to get a crown,
Uh-huh.
and I usually go in, they do the crown prep, and then I pay for the crown.
Yeah.
And it's like $900.
Yeah.
Well, this time it was $1,450.
So then you looked at them and said, no. And then they're like, oh,
I'm going to go somewhere else.
I was like, why is it so much more? And the lady just like looked at me, and I was like still on the gas or whatever. So I'm like,
great time to discuss.
So
billing.
I'm just standing there staring at her, and I'm like, okay.
Why do you have a raccoon head?
Yeah. And so I go
Is
out.
it that much more because of that raccoon on your head?
So I go out to my truck, and I usually sit in my truck for like 15 minutes before I drive again.
They shouldn't even let you out.
I know,
of the building.
it's insane. They're like, see you later. And I'm like, I am high as can be right now. I'm just like,
I'm literally on my way to McDonald's.
Yeah. Did I tell you guys about my high dentist experience?
Yeah, you did.
Oh my gosh.
Trippy.
I should tell it again.
Okay.
Where you were in like a vocal loop?
Yeah, for like eternity. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to create it audibly.
Okay.
So like you'll hear it at the end of the episode.
Let's do that.
But in a nutshell, listener, I had the wildest trip while on the laughing gas at the dentist a few months back. Insane.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
That is a nasty drug.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I love it. I don't know why you would say that.
Have you tried heroin? It's
No.
also awesome.
But I'm not like, when I leave the dentist, I'm not like, I need more of that. I'm like, that was fun, and I feel fine.
Just because
I don't ever need to go back. But
Have you
if
ever tried heroin?
but
you
if
might
I-
not get addicted to that too.
But if I need to get my teeth, like when you go in and they give you a shot,
Yeah.
the gas is so nice. It's horrible to be like stabbed.
Phil, have you ever been drunk? It's
no,
nice.
No.
I'm just
Is that what
saying,
you do? You just get drunk before you go to the
yeah,
dentist?
usually heroin and drug. Yeah.
And alcohol.
All kinds of stuff, whatever I can get.
That's
Anyway,
a lot of fentanyl.
No, it is. That's right. No, it is interesting. My dad is so the opposite of me. I never get gas. I feel too out of control with it. Like I don't feel like I'm connected to like reality, and it kind of messes with me pretty bad.
Yeah.
But my dad's like in the waiting room, like, excuse me, are there any hoses that reach into here? I can start while I'm in here. Anyway.
The gas has never done like a lot for me.
Oh, you should have them
honestly.
crank it up then.
I do. My dentist is like, where do you want it? Put it as high as you want.
Put it to 11.
Yeah, do whatever you want. And it's pretty good.
7,
but
Jeff. It's 7.
I drove to Gandolfo's and American Fork right after.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, I usually drive after, but I sit there for a minute because I'm like, I still feel fuzzy.
You got to wait till all those raccoons get
I
off
feel
the
good.
hood of your truck.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel good. Not gonna lie, like during, but I just right under. But I think I have a high pain tolerance, honestly.
Maybe. See, as soon as they put it on, like maybe a minute in, I'm like, whoa, is my whole body in pain all the time? Because I feel
'Cause I feel
great right now.
nothing.
I'm like, wow, I can't feel. Whoa, my legs did hurt. Like I had no idea.
This is what nothing feels like.
yeah, it's pretty great, Jeff.
I almost feel like I get an
I've never
out-of-body
been-
experience.
I've
Yeah,
never been
yeah.
successful with it.
Oh,
I
really?
don't like it.
Like,
You need to crank it up, buddy.
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't know you could ask.
Oh yeah, you can be like, I'm not really feeling it, and they'll crank it up for you. Be warned though, you might have the craziest trip of your life, which you're gonna hear at the end, because that really was because I was going to get a root canal, and I'm like, I think my other dentist like cranks it up a little bit because I don't get it very well. He's like, all right, we'll boost you up a little bit, and whoa, was that gnarly?
Thanks for saying root canal
Yeah.
and not root.
Root canal.
Anyone that says root, if one of you two say
Root.
it right now, I'm going to punch you.
like in Utah,
Okay.
Yeah, like,
Utah,
oh,
Like
I got a root
mountains.
canal. No,
Mountains.
you
got a
didn't.
root canal.
You got a root canal.
I
That's
got a root canal.
Like, that's such a good Dell.
Can you give me a root beer? No.
Anyway,
I hate people.
for me, like one of the things I remember the most about the laughing gas, I'm gonna keep going on that.
Yeah, keep going.
Just
Is-
ride that.
Is
ride
that the
horse.
radio that's playing like in the dentist's office starts playing backwards usually. Yeah, it's like, but it's the weirdest thing because I'll like days off like that and things are so weird, and the dentist will come in and be like, "How we doing?" And my mind just like immediately sharpens up. I'm like, "Oh, I'm good." Like And then if he quits talking to me, I just drift off away again, like having a good time. And then like he says, "Can you open your mouth a little more?" Yeah, I am paying attention. See that? Like,
but in reality, it's like, can you open your mouth? Sure.
Yeah.
Let me get to that.
It really is. You're going to find out at the end of this episode.
This mouth?
Yeah. Anyway.
You treat me like a stranger.
Exactly. Anyway, Elon Musk is battling with Brazil. We'll see where that ends up.
Wow. That went woo.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about Brazil.
Back from left field. Okay.
They should just, President Brazil and Elon should just have a dance off.
No, like, they should just sit down and hold hands and have laughing gas together.
And listen to Lord.
Yeah. That's actually like, I'm largely against, like, I shouldn't say against, but I'm not like a drug person. Other than obviously I like if I'm gonna do drugs at the dentist, I'm gonna enjoy it 100%.
The only drugs you do, you're just hyping up like it's the greatest shit ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, again, I wouldn't seek it out, but if I broke my back, I'm gonna enjoy some opiates.
Okay.
If I need a root canal, I'm gonna take that gas. 100%.
I'm gonna listen to my music backwards.
But one thing I thought drugs actually might be really good for are people with like severe like
addiction.
PTSD, like soldiers and stuff like that. They say that like marijuana has like really helped a lot of those people. So I don't know. Maybe
I think in general, this is in general.
Yeah.
Most drugs don't actually solve the problem.
Yeah.
They just make it fuzzy.
Yeah.
So take painkillers, for example, is like it doesn't fix the pain. It just makes it so you can't feel it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's the same thing with like marijuana and stuff. Because if you think about it, you couldn't answer the question of how many joints would you have to smoke or how many milligrams of THC do you have to consume to cure the PTSD-ness?
Yeah.
The truth is you constantly have to do that for the rest of your life.
He said PTSD-ness.
I'll show you this PTSD-ness.
Well, yeah. See, and when I broke my back,
here we go.
There was only pain. Like they were like you're 100% okay. You could do jumping jacks right now. It's just gonna hurt.
Yeah.
You're not gonna hurt yourself by doing anything. And so I was like, well, give me the drugs then because it hurts.
Yeah.
And so I don't care if it's masking the pain. I just want the pain to go away.
Well, I know, but you see my point.
Yeah.
It has a time and place.
Yeah.
Like, you should absolutely take painkillers if it's like crippling pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can't function in society or walk around, like, yeah, you need to do something about it.
Yeah.
But it's not, people get this false sense that it's going to cure the problem.
Yeah.
And it won't.
Well, and that's what I've wondered. I've wondered if like somebody goes to war and they see like a bunch of kids get killed or something horrible.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you can't get over that. Like they come back, they go to therapy, they do all this stuff, but it's like at the end of the day, they're going to wake up and like they saw a bunch of kids get killed. You know what I mean? And if that were me, I'd be like, well, then give me that gas.
Well, it's interesting because like if you had 10 people in the squadron that all witnessed the same 10 kids get killed, they're not all going to come back and have the same disorder and problems.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why that is either.
It's almost like we're all individual people that do different things. But we take things differently.
But we do all need drugs.
No way.
Right.
Well, like I was watching a Mr. Beast video.
Oh yeah.
His most recent one where he the Holy Spirit is not approving. But I watch his videos, okay?
Oh,
and
yeah.
so does half of America, okay?
Yeah.
Calm down.
Not half of America.
Half of the world.
I was scrolling through YouTube and it was like this video was posted one day ago and it had like 48 million views.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
That's
how many?
I'm not against him. I actually like a lot of his stuff. A little bit long video sometimes, but in general.
How many subscribers does Mr. Beast have?
Probably like
I think he's like the second or third most.
Million,
Coco Lemon is the
310 million. But here's the thing.
Whoa.
That's one channel. He's got like Mr. Beast Espanol, Mr. Beast Chinese, Mr. Beast. He has it translated in like 16
Holy
languages.
Smokes.
Anyway, the reason I was bringing this up is because if you took us and put us in this latest challenge where it had boys versus girls, where you put them out in the wilderness.
Oh, yeah.
And they had them just survive as long as they could, basically. 5 boys, 5 girls. And the whole thing was only one person had to survive from each team.
Yeah.
And they had rations, like food. So like the girls eliminated most of the team right at the beginning as a strategy. I don't even know why I'm explaining all this. Go watch it. But what I was going to say is that like it's very interesting that you put the same people in the same situations and people react so differently to it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with PTSD. And it's like if you put us, friends, out in that situation, we'd probably just live there and like the game would be over and we'd be like, can we just stay? I don't know. But other people like can't even leave their cat for a few hours.
We're not done playing the hate game. Give us another few hours.
We need to play the hate game to win this.
Exactly.
We'll do it for your birthday.
Oh, your birthday's coming up.
2 days.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was in
41.
I thought it was in October.
No, September 12th.
Is it really? We need to go out. We didn't even go out for your 40th.
Happy birthday.
I mean, you had a lot going on, but let's go out.
We're going out.
Yeah?
Yeah, we'll go out.
Let's go out to that Shabu Dabu.
Oh, let's do.
Yeah.
Let's go to Kuchu Shabu.
Kuchu Shabu.
Freaking jerk.
Anyway.
We had a pristine guest on promoting his beautiful restaurant.
Can't even say it right.
Coochie Shabby.
Anyway.
Bushi.
So we on to the debate yet?
Yeah. Prior to this episode, we actually all got together and watched the debate together. And when I say debate, I mean Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris.
Ding, ding, ding.
And what do you think?
Kamala Harris, the person that grew from the current president 40 years ago. How old is she?
What?
I don't know what I'm thinking. Let's be clear.
The person that grew.
Well, I had this idea that she was like a fungus that grew from President Biden like 50 years ago.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
So listen,
Are you
what
tripping?
do you think? Yeah, I think I'm on dentist gas.
Oh, there you go. I squoze some in here before you guys came in.
What do you think about the debate?
I was just so bored. Trump is like, he really is. I think he's getting also too old. He's not like up there with Biden, but I think he's gotten so ranty. He just like goes off on the same things. And I've actually tuned into a couple of his like rallies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Kamala killed him tonight with one line. She was like, you know what? I'm going to do something weird. I'm going to invite the American people to go to a Donald Trump rally. And what did she say? She's like, see if you don't die of boredom or something.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what she said, but that's what I was getting. He just like keeps going on and on. She did better than I thought she would, honestly.
Yeah, she did.
Here's
what I would say about that. I have gotten like Trump overload.
Yeah.
Overload. Because I listened to the 3-hour discussion of him and Elon.
Yeah.
By the end of that, I'm like, dude, I wish Elon would have talked way more than Trump.
Yeah.
Then I listened to this past weekend with Theo Vaughn, that podcast. Trump was on there as well.
Oh, yeah.
It was a pretty good interview, but it's like an hour.
But a lot of Trump.
It's just a lot. So anyway, what I'm getting at is it's too much to listen to him for long periods of time. But at the same time, I'd almost rather hear from a president or a potential president for long periods of time. Kamala, this is the most I've ever heard her talk.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
there's kind of that kind of sketchiness to me too of like, she's not really in the public eye. She's not really putting herself out there constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't like that about it, but I think generally she did way better than I thought too.
Yeah. We should throw out there that we bailed like 20 minutes before the end. We were like, can't even do this anymore.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
What'd you
I was
think,
getting
Holy
sick of it.
Spirit?
As far as Kamala, I was impressed. Like the way she would speak was very good. It was brought up a lot like Obama, maybe not exactly the way he can do it, which is unbelievable, right? But the way that she would explain things was super simple. Like it's just like the sales mentality of KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. She did it that way. Unfortunately, Trump would just go off on rants and different things and just talk about stuff that, like, yeah, maybe it mattered in the grand scheme of things, but what someone was just listening to it new, and probably the first time they've listened to a debate between the two of them, it just wasn't presented well. It just didn't look good.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to swallow. And like we talked about, we just got to a point where our brains were just thrown with so much stuff. At the end, it's like, okay, we're done. Like, there's only so much we can take. It just should have been presented in a lot better way. From the Republican side, the Democratic side did a great job, and we'll see what happens in November.
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you think, Jake?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, yeah. Jake
But I
came in
heard
late with some cupcakes.
I heard an analysis of it on the way up on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
And one person said, if you woke up this morning a Trump supporter after the debate, you're probably still a Trump supporter, and vice versa.
Yeah.
For Kamala.
Yeah, there was nothing really that spectacular. There's some really good one-liners that made me laugh out loud from Trump, which I love his one-liners. And there's some crazy things. What the hell was up with that? Like, they're going to eat your cats and dogs? That was hilarious. And I'm like, he's got to be joking. And then when he gets called out on it, it was like, nope, double down. That's what I've been told.
There was a thing on TV. The guy said they were eating a dog. Like that.
Oh, my God.
Was he talking
Beautiful
something
dog.
about
He was
like
talking about illegal immigrants
the
coming
Haitians
in.
eating ducks?
They come over here.
They're eating ducks
they
or
eat
something like
these
that.
beautiful dogs sometimes.
Sometimes they're telling me.
People are telling me it's the most beautiful dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
They specifically picked the most beautiful dog.
Yeah, that's where I was just like, man, he's losing it. Losing it.
One thing that pissed me off too, though, is that Kamala was bringing up things that were, from my understanding, totally not true. Like, she said multiple times that Trump was crafted. What's it called? Even Operation 2025 or Project 2025?
Yeah.
Which I don't even know much about it, but it's kind of interesting. Like, a person at that level would very clearly know if Trump was the orchestrator of that or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she said it twice in there. And
I
think
it
she's trying.
times.
So it's almost like she's trying to tie this thing to Trump. You know
there's something about it that may not rub the Americans the right way, and so she's using it as his crutch. When in reality, they've talked about outside of the debate. She's said multiple times he's going to implement Project 2025 if he becomes president. And his response is always, I don't know who wrote it. It's not my policies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they keep saying that about him, which seems to be no merit. And he keeps repeating this claim that they're like Democrats that want to be able to murder babies after they're born. And I don't know where that comes from. I've searched for it, but I can't find anyone saying like, yeah, after they're born, you can totally decide whether or not to abort them still.
There was a soundbite a few years ago before the Roe v. Wade overturn, where someone, I think, was being questioned on the Senate floor or something like that, or questioned by Congress about some abortion plan in some state or something, and he's like, well, they asked the question, so would you be able to abort a child after it's born full term? And he said, Yeah, technically, yes. The mother would have the baby, and the doctor would have a discussion with the mother as to what they want to do with it.
And this was like an author of a bill or something.
I can't remember if it was
governor.
if it was someone, a doctor or someone, but it was someone high up in the decision making process of this some bill that was being presented or something. But that's the only one that I know of that talks about full term.
Yeah, I'd have to see it, I guess.
Post birth abortions.
Because he keeps repeating it. I'm so sick of abortion. Like, why is that
the subject? You mean?
Yeah, on a presidential debate level. Like, why are presidential candidates debating abortion?
Well, like for example,
the Americans care about it.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well,
do they though?
Well, we're told that we do. I mean,
do they care about it more than like how bad inflation has been, or like Europe cascading into war, like immigration, stuff like that? Like,
so listen to this, okay? This is kind of an interesting point. Why are we bringing it up, right? So abortions at or after 21 weeks are uncommon and represent 1% of all abortions in the U.S. So why are we even talking about it on a presidential stage? And it's the same thing of like gender stuff.
Yeah.
It's like we're talking about a literal 1% of the population, but it's such a big deal. They're blowing it up to be such a big deal of like this transgender community, you know what I mean? Which is literally probably around 1% of the population.
It's the reason they talk about it is because they know that it's a politically divisive thing. They know that if they support abortion, chances are they're going to get most of people on one side. If they oppose it, they know that they're going to get the support of most of the people on the other side.
Exactly.
It's not. You're right. As Americans, we may care about it, but we don't care about politicians talking about it.
Well, yeah, and granted, there may be a listener out there who's listening to me and saying, "No, Phil, you dick, I care deeply about abortion, and I choose my president solely based on their abortion policy."
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. But I would put forth the question to people in general, like, do you believe it's like almost everyone believes in some abortion, right? Like that there should be some. Most people can agree that in the case of rape or incest, or especially the one where the life of the mother is in jeopardy, that they should get an abortion. Although I know there are people, I guess, who would say, no, let the mother die, which is crazy to me. But I guess I do see some argument because
I think you're right. The vast majority of people would most likely support an abortion in one of those extreme
and really it just boils down to how many weeks you're okay with it. Like most people, right. From what I hear, they're like, oh, I don't like RFK because he supports abortion after 16 weeks or whatever. It's like, oh, well, how many weeks do you support? And they're like, well, okay, well, why are we even arguing? Like,
you know, and I think this is a point of Roe v. Wade, but it's like, let's take the youngest ever, like the earliest surviving fetus ever.
Yeah.
How short was their gestational period? From that point, it should be illegal to have it after. Or not illegal. That's silly to even say. If you're going to have an abortion, it should be before that point. Because obviously the baby cannot survive outside of the mother, right?
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like, who said that? Bill Burr. It's like if you put your cake batter in a pan and threw it in the oven, and then someone came along like 10 minutes later and threw it on the floor, they'd be like, you ruined my cake. Well, it wasn't a cake. Well, it would have been. You know, it's like, it would have been a cake, but you ruined it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's both sides. But anyway, it's to me, when it can survive on its own, it's now no longer you. It's no longer your body.
What kind of cake was it, though?
Probably funfetti.
Yellow?
Funfetti.
That was my favorite when I was a kid.
Funfetti?
Yeah. With the little, like, squishy balls inside it.
You love your balls.
Yeah.
Squishy.
Funfetti.
Funfetti.
Yeah.
That's what I brought. Those cupcakes I brought were funfetti.
Oh, were they? I should have ate one.
You should have, because they were delicious.
Oh, too late.
Stacey
They were
made 'em.
fun.
Anyway, they argued about some other things too. I can't remember what they were.
There was just some hilarious jabs that Kamala gave to Donald, which were very good. And Donald, God, he is so freaking, he's a comedian. I don't know what else to say. His timing, the way he executes things.
He landed a few
hilarious.
good ones. He was, my impression was like mostly ranty. Like if he loses this election, he'll deserve it. If she loses, it's only because she's done terribly.
She sucks.
Yeah. Well, and Donald Trump did. If he said it in a less ranty way, he really could have very concisely just been like, "Look at their presidency and look at mine." And a lot of people will say, "Oh, Donald Trump was horrible," blah blah blah. But he had really good points about the state of affairs in Israel and with Russia and North Korea and all those things. Like, and she's saying, "Oh, if he was president, it'd be the end. Europe would fall apart and NATO, blah blah blah." And it's like, why are you saying that? He literally was president, and none of those things happened.
Right.
But they are happening under your presidency. Like it's all falling apart. It's like this thing on the left where it's like, oh, we're doing something, so let's accuse them of it to like draw attention over there. I don't know. It was pretty wild. And all Trump had to do was just like calmly and concisely point that out, but he did it in a way that he repeated himself like 50 times, said the same thing over and over. She was the worst. They did this the worst. She was the worst. They did this the worst. And let me tell you, she's the worst. And can I say she's the worst? It's like, you just said that 50 times. Okay. Like, say something else. That was kind of my thing. Say another thing. Say something new. She was good at just like, I don't think what she said was very like full of, what's the word?
Substance.
Yeah. Substantial. But she at least spoke simply and clearly and like made just small points. There wasn't a lot of substance there. Like getting as far as we did, I still don't know what Kamala's like stance is.
It's really funny because she repeated many times, "I have a plan.
Yeah,
I have a plan.
Exactly.
I have a plan."
And I still don't know what it is. And Trump was actually the same way. And she called him out on that. And they actually did a really funny thing. The commentators or whatever brought up Obamacare. And we're like, "You screamed and cried about Obamacare for years. What's your plan?" And he almost was like, "Oh, dude, I haven't thought about that in 6 years. I didn't know they were going to ask me about that." Yeah. He's like, "We totally have a plan. I can't tell you right now. I'm not president, but if I am," like, I was like, "Oh, okay." Like,
I don't know if any of you listened to the setup interviews before the debate started, but and I heard this from probably unreliable sources, but I think that whole debate was set up very, very leaning towards Kamala.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's obvious.
And I think that Kamala also set up like her team set up some of the stipulations. Is that the right word? Yeah.
No mic on, whatever.
Mic on, mic off, the timing, the no audience, all that stuff. And I think when you see the interviews, all of them were trashing Trump.
Yeah.
They had Chris Christie on there trashing Trump.
Yeah.
And they had all these it was just amazing. It was like the whole setup was just trashing Trump. And then they went into the debate. It's like, do you think anyone listening to this program, they're all going to be like, yeah, Trump's an idiot.
Yeah.
Because we've just been talking about it for a half hour.
Yeah.
So anyway.
That's all everyone on TV has been talking about the last 4 years is trashing Trump.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing he brought up that I was, Kamala didn't really respond to directly was, that he's essentially saying they've weaponized the Justice Department against me with all these cases. They're stupid cases. They were brought way too late at the last minute, all this stuff. And her response to that was not, no, they're not, or they're good cases. It was, well, he's going to weaponize the justice. It was like the same thing. They keep like accusing him of things that they're doing.
Yeah.
Like that's what was so crazy to me. And it's like, I think a lot of people do believe that, especially because he's getting a lot of these cases thrown out. And they've actually all been either thrown out or delayed until after the election at this point. I thought that was a really telling thing. Like, I thought that she would be like, well, actually, I'm a former prosecutor, and these were legitimate cases because blah, blah, blah. But it was like, you did it.
No, you're the one.
You're going to do. He says he's going to weaponize the Justice Department. He's like, no, he's literally accusing you of doing that right now.
But even
so
if
respond to that.
But even if he said he's going to do it, like, I'd rather someone say they're going to do it than like secretly do it. You know what I mean?
I don't know that he is. Maybe he has said that. I don't know.
He openly said he's going to prosecute and go after. He's going to attack and investigate certain people.
Yeah, but he said he was going to lock Hillary up too, and he didn't do anything with that.
That's true.
So,
because you'd be in jail.
Yeah. you
That was one of his greatest ones.
Lock. Did you see that Hillary, when she spoke at the DNC, they started chanting, "Lock him up, lock him," and her face was like so happy. She was just like this vindicated, like evil,
That's funny,
like witch or something.
She starts to cackle like she does.
Yeah, she really like she was like she was like being overcome with joy. It was pretty funny actually.
That sounds hilarious. Thanks, Phil.
But anyway, thanks for tuning in to our debate. Why? Did you have something to say?
No.
Episode here on American Forked.
We're masters now.
This has been episode 132.
Yep.
Stay tuned for episode 133.
Hello, Philip. How are we doing today?
We're pretty good.
Well, let's get going on that root canal.
Alright.
Why don't you open nice and... Is that gas okay? Are you getting enough there?
Yeah, I
All right.
think so.
Open nice and wide. Here we go.
Oh, what is happening right now? Pressure, overwhelming pressure.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. Oh, I'm dying. I'm dying. No.
I can't die.
I've got a wife and kids. I've got to survive for them. I gotta survive. You won't win. I'm gonna hang on. No, I will win. No.
I will win.
Me. I'm gonna win. Oh my gosh. This battle has lasted like 7 eternities.
That's right.
Numbers all the way to Jupiter. That's my life. spare my life. I don't know how I can do it. I've done it an infinite amount of times. An infinite amount of times. I know everything. I have lived for a billion years. This must be what God feels like. God experiences everything a billion times. Children to open our
Well, that went pretty good. I think we did it.